Wait, where the hell am I? What's this thing implanted in my forearm?
You've got to be kidding me.
What's up guys, I'm Pao. Have you ever wondered what will Fortnite, injected with a healthy dose of Jurassic Park, look like in a mobile game? Well, you're in for a treat today as we're gonna explore the vast, mysterious, dinosaur-laden island of Ark. Ark Survival Evolved is an adrenaline-filled MMO survival game that was released in 2017 by Studio Wildcard and developed by Wardrum Studios in various game consoles and PC as well. A year after its widely successful debut, the mobile version of the game followed soon after. There's only one thing you have to do in this game, and that is to survive. Seems easy, huh? Try telling it to this guy. There's plenty of awesome stuff left to discuss in Ark Survival Evolved, and I hope you can channel your inner Bear Grylls and unleash your survival instincts on this one. On that note, let's get down to business, shall we? Ark Survival Evolved lets you experience an open-world scenario filled with endless possibilities. You'll be spawned right smack in the middle of this mysterious island with a futuristic chip embedded on your forearm. From that point on, you're basically on your own. Well, not actually, because you'll be sharing the island with this one, and this one, and this big guy right here. And the majority of them have no time singing children's songs like your cuddly purple friend Barney. At the start of the game, you will have, drumroll please, nothing but a smelly, filthy, white undergarment and that lingering thought that you'll always serve as a scrumptious dish for your not-so-friendly, prehistoric, voracious next-door neighbors. Yikes. The map is pretty huge and you can do a bunch of stuff in it. As much as possible, try to avoid or outrun the aggressive dinosaurs at the early stages so that you will have a higher chance of survival at the start of the game. As you start from scratch, you'll have to gather for your resources such as food and wood using only your bare knuckles. Ouch! That's gotta hurt. Once you have managed to weather the early storm, you can then start crafting weapons and later on, build your fortress to protect yourself from the hostile environment. Resources are the cornerstones of every stuff you want to create or develop in the game, and the good thing about them is that they can be naturally found everywhere. Quests or pursuits are available in the solo offline mode of the game to guide you in your adventure. These tasks can sometimes be easy or difficult, and it allows you to level up faster. Also, these special tasks can sometimes give you awesome items and equipment. By doing all these sorts of activities, you'll be able to advance to the next level. This is the time where you can enhance your stats so that you can endure and survive further against all the dangerous elements presented all around you. Whether you're playing the offline or online mode of the game, Ark Survival Evolved revolves around one single task, and that is to survive. For now, we will be playing the solo mode or offline mode of the game so that you'll quickly get the hang of it. As simple as it may sound, you have to deal with lots of environmental factors along the way. To increase your chances of surviving in this perilous setting, you must first learn the basics. The character customization is pretty awesome in Ark as you'll have the free reign to manipulate and modify your physical features without some sort of limitation. Next, you have to choose where you want to be spawned within the boundaries of the island from the map grid on the left, and you can also see the difficulty level per zone. Once you have selected your desired destination, you're now all set. another fun day right here in this extremely unsafe, creature-infested island. Alright, let me show you how it's done. The control mechanics are pretty easy for Ark, and the majority of them just involve tapping and swiping actions. The left part of the UI is where you can do the basic directional movements. Double tapping allows you to do sprints, while swiping up triggers the jumping action. On the other hand, tapping the right side of the UI allows you to perform certain actions such as attacking and gathering resources. Now, let's move on to the more advanced stuff. In other games with a similar genre, surviving is much easier and less complicated compared to Ark, as weapons and items are readily available at the early stages of the game. Here, you have to build everything literally from scratch, and the fact that you have to deal with these gigantic human flesh-loving predators. To survive in the world of Ark, you have to gather resources, hunt your food, make your weapons, shelter yourself from the wild surroundings, constantly keep yourself fed and hydrated, and on top of that, you have to be aware and make sure that there's no wild beast lurking around anywhere near you. Phew, that's a lot. Since all you have is stinky underwear at the beginning, you have to grind and scavenge for resources. Wood and thatch are just some basic resources that you can easily acquire at the early part of the game, as well as picking up wild berries and various plants to serve as an immediate remedy for your depleting appetite. Chopping down tree trunks using only your bare hands is not a great idea, but if that's the only way to survive, heck, I would take that all day. Because being eaten by a roaming raptor is simply not my thing. I know, I've been saying a lot of bad stuff about our ferocious pals, but they're not as bad as I thought since they can be tamed eventually. You just have to feed them with their favorite food after knocking them unconscious from severe whacking. Aww, how lovely. Once tamed, they will serve as your loyal companion throughout your adventure, and they can also be leveled up. Aside from that, you can even ride them and help you in hunting down larger creatures. Sooner or later, you might find yourself leading your own dino army. Wow! Your bare hands can only do so much at the mid stages of the game. This is where crafting comes into play. As you keep progressing, you have to craft weapons for you to gather more resources such as stones and flints and hunt wild creatures for your source of meat. Aside from weapons, you can also craft other stuff like clothing, advanced cooking equipment, and basic housing materials. But before that, let me tell you something about engrams. For each level that you have gained, you will earn engram points, which you can eventually use to unlock permanent crafting recipes. You will only earn a certain amount of engram points per level, and you must choose which technological advancement you want to learn and pursue. Successfully crafted items will immediately appear on your inventory. You can drop, use, or consume every item that is stored in it. You can also place them in the hotbar to quickly toggle between the items depending on your respective needs. As you keep completing quests and accomplish resource gathering tasks, you'll eventually progress to the next level and have the opportunity to boost your stats. This includes improving the capacity of your health, stamina, oxygen level, food and water intake, increasing the capacity of items you can carry, attacking power and movement speed, your ability to withstand damage, crafting speed, and torpidity level, which measures your ability to withstand extreme levels of fatigue. After learning the ropes in the solo mode of Ark, you can now delve into the co-op multiplayer mode of the game if you're up for the challenge. In this mode, you'll be able to play in a real-time scenario with other active players online. You can choose from the list or filter the type of mode you want to join in. There's the PvP mode where you will go head to head with other players. The PvE or the co-op mode that allows you to build tribes with other players and dominate the world of Ark together. And lastly, the PvX mode, which is simply a mixture of both. In other words, complete chaos! The events for Ark Survival Evolved usually gives out a handful of goodies to its players. These may consist of boosted rates in gathering of resources, acquiring limited time sets of items, to organizing contests and promotional activities. Most events usually run for less than a week, while special contests usually run longer than that. For the past year, they have conducted events like the Survival Surge, which boosts harvesting rates and XPs, and the Baby Boom event, which boosted rates of breeding, hatching, maturation, and imprinting. There's a trophy room contest, which allows the survivors to showcase their trophy rooms via sending a screenshot, and the winner for this event has received 500 Ambers. For this year, they have conducted the Photo Mode contest. Players must take their best action shots using the newly installed feature called the Photo Mode, and they must post it on Twitter with the hashtag ArkMobileContest. 500 Ambers and an Ascendant fabricated rifle was received by the lone winner. The most recent event for Ark is the Halloween 2019. It is a week-long event that allows the player to acquire various loot from pumpkins, which are scattered throughout the island during nighttime. A huge chunk of the microtransactions for Ark involves the usage of the Ancient Amber. It serves as the primary item to purchase rare and premium items, revive dead creatures, and a whole lot more. Some of the items offered in the stores are only purchasable using Ambers. The price of these items usually starts from 10 Ambers to 200 Ambers. These include buffs and miscellaneous items like dinosaur collars and special crafting recipes. The price of the Amber bundles ranges from $1 to $40. To have an idea if these things are worth purchasing, let's have a quick rundown in terms of its Amber to dollar value. The small bundle costs roughly around $5 per 100 Ambers. The next one costs around $4.75 per 100 Ambers. The 250-piece bundle is around $4 per 100 Ambers. And the most expensive one would cost you around $3 per 100 Ambers. Although the Ambers are considered to be hard to obtain items, you can still grind them out within the island, so purchasing them using real money is not that necessary. Aside from these items, some of them can be directly purchased using cold hard cash. The God Console is one of the most interesting items in the store, offered at $14.99. This solo mode offer can eliminate the grinding part of the game, and you will have unlimited resources at your disposal. On top of that, you can access a ton of cheat codes, have infinite ammo, and everlasting immortality. The first thing that you would notice in Ark Survival Evolved is the stunning graphics and visual design. This makes the game head and shoulders above other games in the open world genre. They were also able to successfully bring the same gaming experience from the consoles and PCs to its mobile version. From the 80+ dinosaurs that you can see in the realm of Ark to its captivating landscapes, the game's research team certainly deserves a huge pat in the back on this one. For casual gamers out there, this is the type of game that you would usually deviate away from. Ark is pretty much grind heavy, making your game experience incredibly tedious and grueling as you have to do everything on your own. Most of the activities in Ark are usually time consuming and you would often find yourself waiting idly for it to be finished. I have spent long hours playing this game and was only able to do an average amount of progress. Frustration usually sets in when you're gathering the required resources for the stuff that you're building, when all of a sudden, a random Sarco or Raptor attacks you like an RKO out of nowhere. all the stuff that you possess will be lost once you die. So if you decide to try out this game, I strongly suggest that you play the offline mode first to make things less complicated before you decide to play with other peeps. But I think this is not a bad thing, as the developers made it that way to make us fully immersed in this seemingly helpless, challenging environment and further understand what the word survival really means. The controls are shaky and unstable at times, especially when you're trying to aim at objects from afar. Also, there's no auto-lock function when attacking dinosaurs from close distance as well, making it harder for you to aim directly at your target. You can also experience a few glitches and encounter invisible walls, but then again, this is usually expected in an open world scenario. And maybe they can do something about this one. Your eyes do not deceive you, folks. Pooping with pants on. Performance-wise, this game requires at least 2GB from both your iOS or Android devices, and given the graphics-driven nature of the game, it chucks down your battery level at an extremely quick pace, most especially when you're playing with other players. So always make sure to plug in your device during playtime. If you're craving for a game that will require you to devote a huge amount of your time, I suggest that you give this one a shot. Aside from the time-consuming aspect, the overall facets of the game are pretty good. I hate to cut this short, but I think it's time to wrap this up. Once again, this has been Pao for EP Game Reviews. Adios, and stay alive.